Search at Dover Coast Guard. Understood that you are now alongside. Dover Lifeboat is also on scene, has discovered 14 empty water bottles that have been lashed together to create a form of buoyancy. It's over.
Hello again. It's the 26th of May. It's 6 a.m. We're out here in the mid-channel again. The film last week caused one hell of a stir. A lot of MPs contacting Priti Patel, demanding action. We're told that the Home Secretary has spoken to the French authorities. What's been said, what's been agreed, I don't know. One of the things this film exposed last week was this whole concept of French naval vessels escorting these dinghies with migrants and then handing them over to the British Border Force. That had never been exposed before. That has caused one hell of a row. Now, the last 2 days, there have been far fewer migrant boats coming, despite, as you can see, glassy, calm seas. I don't know why. I wonder whether maybe the French on the roads, on the beaches, have been stopping a series of launches. I don't know. What I can tell you this morning is so far, one dinghy has been spotted further up towards the Goodwin Sands with 3 on board. That sounds very odd. Strikes me that's not traffickers. That's probably 3 blokes who've nicked a boat and are heading on their way over. But what we now know is just a few miles away from where we are now, there is a French warship escorting a dinghy in which we're told there are 13 people. Interestingly, the French Navy have put a 1-mile exclusion zone around them because they say it's search and rescue, and any vessel that comes within that would endanger lives. Now, we're not going to endanger lives, far from it. They know we're here. They know I'm back out here. They are doing their best to hide the truth. So we're heading down slowly towards the handover. We'll see how close we can reasonably get, and we'll see what the threat level becomes. The truth is, as yet, nothing really much, not too much, seems to have changed. So there we've got the French warship. She's still in French waters, escorting a boat. We're told there are 13 migrants on it, and they will come into, as we saw the other day, into British waters and be picked up by Border Force. We've spotted something a little bit further down. Looks to us in the distance with binoculars like it's an inflatable on its own, so we're heading to that now. What's happening here is there's a rib there, there's quite a lot of people on it. It looks quite big from here. And interestingly, we saw the direct handover last week, and we heard that VHF signal saying we must change tactics. So what the French naval vessel's doing now is almost pretending that he's not escorting it, he's doing a zigzag course, he's keeping some distance from it. It's the same game. They're doing all they can to try to stop us thinking that it's still going on. But it is, and we'll witness very shortly Border Force coming out to collect it. So here we go, there's 13 we think on this one. Border Force will be out to get them very, very soon. Nice day for it. What can you say? And it's the end of the operation, and here we have the French naval vessel that, despite the fact we blew the gaff on what was going on last week, escorted that rib across into English waters. When they realised we were here, they sort of pretended they weren't shadowing it and turned a bit broadside on and went away, but it's exactly what they did. And then you've got the lifeboat, Dover lifeboat, then you've got, to the left of that, the Border Force vessel, and you can see in the sea next to it, the rib. There are 13 migrants on it. We went right up close with this boat to them. I have to say, 1 or 2 of them were very, very aggressive with us indeed. It wasn't us they wanted to see. It was, of course, Border Force, because they know once they're picked up by Border Force, they can stay.
Coast Guard 25, Dover Coast Guard, over.
Dover Coast Guard 25. That's me, that's Endurance. My patrol is complete and I'm RTB at this time. Over.
Coast Guard 25, Dover Coast Guard, that's understood. Safe journey back up north, and thank you for your help tonight. We'll see you next time. Dover Coast Guard out.
It's 9:30 in the morning. So far, 5 migrant vessels have been picked up, including a kayak. Yeah, a kayak. Somebody kayaked across. We, of course, saw the boat earlier ourselves. We were the first British boat to it. We saw the French Navy there. Something very interesting is going on here. The video last week exposing this whole concept of the handover has led to considerable anger, pressure on the Home Secretary, conversations with the French. But far from changing what they're doing, what they've actually done is to become more covert. Number one, by shadowing at a greater distance. But number two, and here's the key, the French Navy today had their AIS systems, their transponders, turned off so we can't track them, so there's no proof they acted at slow speed as an escort to those inflatable dinghies. So the whole thing has become even more difficult for anybody to capture. As you heard earlier, a 1 mile exclusion zone was put around what they called a search and rescue mission. Everything today was said to be a search and rescue mission, and they don't want you. They just simply don't want you to know what the truth is. Here we are. It's late May. There is no sign of any of this stopping, and I think the numbers that come over the course of this summer will justify the use of the word invasion. So twice in a week, we've caught the French Navy acting as an escort for illegal migrants into British waters, and our border force, I'm sorry to say, but effectively being complicit in it. They sit in Dover Harbour and they wait for the call, and out they come, pick up the migrants, say thank you very much to the French, and wait for the next call out. We've also today had the plane going up and down the channel. That plane has come down from Doncaster today. So you've got border force vessels, you've got aeroplanes, you've got drones, you've got helicopters, you've got dozens of people there in Dover on the shore processing all of this. Goodness only knows what it's costing. We certainly know that at least £400 million has been spent on this over the course of the last 10 years, 61 million of it given to the French to stop them from coming, not to escort them over. So here we are in Dover Docks. This is the end of the seaborne journey. You can see behind me Hunter, which is the border force vessel. It's unloading people who are going up the gangplank. You can see the top of the gangplank, people queuing. That's the reception centre. You can see ambulances, police cars. So it isn't just aeroplanes, drones, helicopters, border force, RNLI. When they get on land, you've got this big reception centre and then immigration further down in Dover. Most people who come in will have destroyed their documents. They will claim they've come from Iran, which they believe gives them a much better chance of firstly claiming refugee status because of the beastliness of that regime, and secondly, if you know where they come from, there might be a chance that you'll send them back, and they try to do everything they can to avoid that. And what happens next? Well, it's interesting. I mean, we don't know. What I have heard over the last few weeks are hotels, particularly in the Midlands and North, where suddenly 100 young migrant males have turned up and been put into these hotels. I've heard of a village in Norfolk where a large number of people have been settled on an old military base. I suspect ultimately, for many, this will not be the land of milk and honey, far from it. And the irony will be that people who've come as economic migrants will find that effectively they're picked up with the gangmasters. They'll be working in, for example, car washes. There was a car wash here in Dover that was done last July for modern-day slavery. This is the kind of thing that so many of these people finish up doing, and others simply, it seems, disappear. Either way, we are party to a people smuggling operation across the English Channel to modern-day slavery going on in our country, and unless we send a message very loudly, very, very clearly, and very, very quickly, as the Australians did a few years ago, that if you come here illegally by this method, you will not be allowed to stay. Unless we do that, then this will, I've said it before, I'll say it again, turn into an invasion this summer. There will be tragedies, and there'll be a lot of anger from a public who voted in a government with an 80-seat majority who were going to deliver Brexit, and a massive part of that was, of course, getting back control of our borders. And here we see ourselves, frankly, being made a laughingstock of.